Is there really a place on Earth where the sea stops behaving normally? Where compasses lose direction, where radios go silent, and where ships and planes disappear as if they were never there at all? Or is it just a story, repeated so many times that people started believing it was true? Today, we're getting closer to a mystery that for decades has held fear, curiosity, and imagination in a powerful grip. Welcome to MythXray. There is a region in the Atlantic Ocean that the world knows as the Bermuda Triangle. People say that once you enter this zone, everything changes. Ships lose their course, aircraft lose contact, and some even claim this is not an ordinary stretch of ocean at all. That is why, for years, strange theories have surrounded it. Some said a mysterious magnetic force exists here. Others claimed there is some hidden power beneath the sea, pulling everything into itself. Some blamed aliens, and some gave it an even darker name, the Devil's Triangle. But the real question is, how did all of this begin? One of the most famous stories ever linked to the Bermuda Triangle is the case of Flight 19. The year was 1945. 5 U.S. Navy planes took off on a routine training mission. Nothing about it seemed unusual. The mission was normal, the crew was experienced, and at the start, even the weather did not appear dangerous enough to suggest disaster. But then, the radio messages began to change. Confusion, uncertainty about direction, fuel running low, and then the planes were gone. What made the story even more terrifying was what happened next. A rescue aircraft was sent to search for them, and that too never returned. And that was enough. One incident, 100 questions, and from those questions, an entire legend was born. Then came another famous case, a small but modern cabin cruiser called Witchcraft. It was the night of 1967. The boat had gone out near Miami so its passengers could enjoy the city lights. It was not far from shore. At one point, the owner contacted the Coast Guard and said the boat may have hit something, but it did not sound like an emergency sinking situation. Help was sent quickly, but when rescuers reached the location, there was nothing there. No boat, no people, no wreckage. And that is exactly the kind of story that grips the human mind. Because when something disappears close to shore after calling for help, it stops feeling like an accident. It becomes a mystery. After that, more and more stories became connected to the triangle. A boat vanished on its way to Florida. A flight reported strange readings. A captain gave a final warning that water was entering the ship, and then silence. Some stories blamed storms. Some blamed radio failure. Some blamed malfunctioning compasses, and some ended with nothing more than one final contact, followed by complete silence. As the years passed, the media, books, documentaries, and now YouTube videos kept telling these stories in a way that made the Bermuda Triangle feel less like a location and more like a curse. People began saying that ships do not simply sink there, they vanish. Planes do not just crash there, they disappear into thin air. And accidents do not happen there, mysteries are born there. And this is the point where most people stop. They accept the mystery as it is. They stop asking questions. They begin to believe that maybe there really is something unnatural about that part of the ocean. But on MythXray, we don't stop where curiosity begins. That is exactly where we start. So now, let's X-ray this mystery piece by piece. First of all, is the Bermuda Triangle officially recognized as a dangerous zone? The answer is no. There is no official boundary that all authorities agree on as some special deadly region. The Bermuda Triangle is mostly a product of public imagination and media storytelling. In fact, U.S. agencies, especially NOAA, have stated that there is no evidence proving mysterious disappearances happen there more often than in any other busy part of the ocean. Now, let's go back to Flight 19. The story is often told as if some invisible force swallowed 5 planes whole. But when historians and investigators studied the incident more carefully, a much more realistic picture appeared. Navigation confusion, weather conditions, fuel limitations, communication problems, human judgment. These are all factors that can explain an aviation disaster without needing anything supernatural. So yes, Flight 19 was a tragedy, but no solid evidence ever proved that it was paranormal. And that fits the same broader position NOAA has repeated, that incidents in this region can be explained by ordinary maritime and aviation risks. Now take the case of witchcraft. Even today, it feels disturbing. Help was nearby, the shore was nearby, and yet nothing was found. But nothing was found does not automatically mean some supernatural force was involved. At sea, especially at night, with waves, currents, darkness, and limited visibility, a small vessel can drift, sink, or break apart much faster than most people imagine. Sometimes what looks like a mystery is simply the limit of search efforts. Then come the modern stories, the claims that even today strange things still happen in the Bermuda Triangle. But here is an important question. If the Bermuda Triangle is really some active supernatural trap, then why do commercial flights, cargo ships, cruise routes, private yachts, and countless travelers continue passing through it safely? Because the truth is, they do. Even today, thousands of people and vessels cross that region without incident. And compared to the past, modern technology has changed everything. GPS, satellite tracking, weather forecasting, marine warnings, radar coverage, advanced aviation systems. When technology improves, mystery begins to shrink, and explanations become clearer. A while back, another theory also became popular. It claimed that strange hexagonal clouds above the Bermuda Triangle were creating violent air blasts, almost like air bombs, strong enough to endanger ships and planes. It sounded dramatic. It sounded exciting. But the problem was, people rushed to treat it like a final answer. And that is one of the biggest problems in the Bermuda Triangle story as a whole. Every new theory gets presented like proof, when in reality, it is often nothing more than a possibility. And now we arrive at perhaps the most important question of all. Do accidents really happen in the Bermuda Triangle more often than normal? And this is where the mystery starts to fall apart.
According to NOAA, there is no evidence that disappearances or accidents happen in the Bermuda Triangle more frequently than in other major well-traveled ocean regions. In other words, the place that has been called extraordinary for decades has never actually been proven to be extraordinary in numbers. Now zoom out for a moment. Look beyond the Bermuda Triangle and look at the oceans of the world. According to the Allianz Safety and Shipping Review 2025, there were 3,310 shipping casualties or incidents worldwide in 2024 alone. Over the last 10 years, the global shipping industry recorded 681 total losses. And interestingly, some of the regions with the highest reported incidents include places like the British Isles and the East Mediterranean and Black Sea. That means serious maritime accidents happen in many parts of the world without anyone calling them a mystery triangle. And it does not stop there. According to EMSA's 2024 overview, between 2014 and 2023, there were 26,595 marine casualties and incidents reported. In 2023 alone, there were 2,676 cases. And in investigated cases, the human element, meaning human error, decision-making, action, and behavior, was found to be involved in 80.1% of them. Think about that. If human factors play such a major role in accidents across the world, then isn't it more logical to examine many Bermuda Triangle incidents through that lens first? And now the picture starts becoming clear. The story of the Bermuda Triangle is really built on three things. First, real accidents. Yes, some disappearances and disasters did happen. People were lost, ships were destroyed. Second, incomplete information. Not every case had full public details. Some final moments were unclear. In many incidents, no debris was found, and that made the stories even more mysterious. Third, and most powerful of all, media amplification. Something that could have been described as a storm and navigation problem was described as a mysterious disappearance. Something that may have been a failed search was retold as vanished without a trace.
And little by little, the Bermuda Triangle stopped being just a region on a map. It became a legend. Now think about it. If an area has heavy traffic, rapidly changing weather, powerful currents, a history of storms and hurricanes, older eras with weaker technology, and a media culture that turns every unexplained case into a supernatural headline, then do we really need a paranormal explanation? Or is the stronger answer simply this, that the Bermuda Triangle is a myth given power not by evidence, but by storytelling? It is also important to remember one simple truth. The sea itself is dangerous. Ships sink, collisions happen, fires break out, vessels disappear, crews lose their lives. This is not unique to the Bermuda Triangle. The only difference is, most other dangerous parts of the world were never given a dramatic name like the Devil's Triangle.
So maybe the real difference was never in the accidents. Maybe the real difference was in the story. And that is the biggest X-ray of the Bermuda Triangle. Yes, some cases may still leave questions behind. Yes, we may not have every answer to every event, but there is a huge difference between saying some questions remain and saying this place has supernatural power. Those are not the same thing. The truth is, the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is not nearly as strong as its fame. Its reputation is enormous.
But the evidence? Not nearly as much. So the next time someone tells you that the Bermuda Triangle is a place where ships and planes are mysteriously swallowed whole, remember this. There may be mystery. There may be incomplete reports. There may be accidents. But not every mystery is supernatural. And the Bermuda Triangle may be one of the greatest examples of that. A myth made more dangerous by human imagination than by the sea itself. If you enjoy videos where we do not just tell the story, but X-ray it, then like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Because the next mystery may also look like truth to the world. But on MythXray, we look for what the truth really is.